crest only a couple days ago, but we're going straight in. Good luck, have fun, comes out in the chat. And let's see if EVA can bounce back and get some revenge after map 1.
Feel like there's something in the water here, honestly. I feel there is something to this match. EVA are going to take us to Cafe. They're going to push us the distance. I love it. Hey, if you're gonna do it once, you may as well do it twice. You know, it's that kind of feel.
I just really don't want to play against the Monty. They really,
I mean, would you? If you saw Anaton on the other team, would you want to play on the Monty?
The thing with Anaton on the Monty is like, yes, Monty is usually more of a like information and pressure operator, but he also plays it very aggressively. He pioneered the hipfire drop shot with shield, and it is actually disgusting. The effectiveness that has. Might have seen him do it I believe he did it at the Mexican Major. It was just so frustrating seeing him do that. But nonetheless, Cyclops have gotten rid of the Lion once again, trying to give their roamers more mobility, and got rid of the Kaid, which is a curious one. Oregon, not usually a map where you'd see Kaid get banned a lot.
No.
And they didn't ban it yesterday against Reject when they played this map, which they did win 7-3. So a bit of an uncommon ban there for the Kaid, but I guess it does leave some flexibility for CAG to not play Thatcher or Maverick, should they so decide.
CAG, the team that were definitely picking into the Maverick as their solo hard breacher on Chalet. So maybe there is something to that, Dev. Maybe they don't want to feel like they need to play the Maverick, and I mean, Gatorada's going to stick that, so there goes my theory of crafting out the window.
Yeah. It's weird, like,
hey Dev, where are we going? What side are we going?
You're going to try and throw me under the bus about the fact that I can't read Japanese?
I've now learned that figure, the character on the left is basement, or at the very least, it starts the word basement.
Yes, yeah, that is, yeah. Look, I respect that. Good on you, mate. So yeah, Anderson 6-picked onto the Hibana. I was going to say, like, there's basically no point in banning Kaid if you're not going to play Hibana or Thermite or Ace, because I mean you're banning an operator and not bringing any of the operators that would get countered by that operator. It's like, why not just use Maverick to open the hatch? But yeah. Nonetheless, I digress. Great thing about 6-picking onto the Hibana here is it means that they will be able to get all of these hatches. Otherwise, with the Mav, you can only get 2 hatches. Look, this flexibility from the Hibana means that Anderson will be able to get as many hatches as he likes. There are 3 prominent ones he'd probably want to get on this side. And then, of course, any potential hard breach onto some key positions, some walls as well.
5 seconds to go.
I'm really liking, and I said this to guys, so for the viewers that were watching the match before, I do apologise, I'm repeating comments here, but I really do like the fact that Castle's now been given that extra barricade. I think that it's made him so much more playable and so much more viable for teams. And I mean, we saw it so much on Bank in the earlier match, and I believe it was also on Chalet from Fav. We saw a fair bit of it, and then Villa was quite menacing too. So I really do like the new adaptation that we have for Castle. It just makes things a little bit more interesting. Geez, Black Ray's lucky there.
Charging position.
Does survive, however. An aggressive hold, thanks to the Castle, like you said. Gatorada, and actually seeing quite an aggressive early push here onto blue. So it's not simply all from that west side, that roam clear. Cyclops are definitely still putting some pressure here on blue, on construction. There's a lot of utility they'll have to contend with, particularly Marvi here. Oh my god, Suzu. Running out of ammo in the early engagement with Amber, who peters back onto site. Looks like Cyclops have a decent amount of map control, but quite everything they would want as of yet.
Slow start by Cyclops' standard, there's no doubt about it. The game that we saw them play against Reject yesterday saw very quick rear stage takes. and essentially pushing players back to pillar as soon as possible. But of course, that was mostly kind of thanks to the Monty. You know, that's I think that's a very easy talking point, is the fact that it allows you to force players back to site quite often. Whereas nowadays, well, at least in this matchup, they're going to have to fight their way tooth and nail through it just to make sure they can actually start to use that to full effect. The E is in a very dangerous position right now, by the way. In kitchen can really do some damage if Cyclops are not careful.
Oh, Marvi gets aggressive. I think that did prevent the drone from clearing the shield in B, so that's a good start for something. But Rera does find the open. Anderson goes down.
That's what we were looking for. Rera finds a second as well. We said that he was going to have an impact, and boy, oh boy, lights up the kill feed. Now Ayagator with nothing left tries to force his way into sight, but he's going to be surely cut out. How does he hit that? Dies to the smoke, unfortunately. Gatorada and Suzu in no position to support that whatsoever. Gatorada just falls to his death. Suzu is pretty much the next to go. Like trees, they fall one by one. What a start here. Again, it's EVA E that start out in the right fashion.
That is a fantastic opening round for EVA E. They just really held on. They utilized that map control that they had retained. And Cyclops didn't really have an adequate method of dealing with that setup. Tried to just push it and ignore it, and it just did not work whatsoever. Desperate attempts from Cyclops, some risks taken here and there, but EVA E, convincing first win, all things considered.
Round two is moving onward to dorms, which no shocks there whatsoever. Nothing really out of the ordinary by any means. I'm always a fan of seeing the Aruni kind of brought in pretty much any fashion on Oregon. It's always such a fantastic operator. Projectile denial is such an important part, especially of this side as well. You do not want to be allowing teams to kind of freely use the double window to their own effect on the attack, nor do you want the game's wall free, if that makes sense. But seeing where these final kind of pieces of the puzzle come together, we do have Sifty, who, I mean, we saw him on the smoker. Dev, you'd be able to tell me with your stat tracker how often we saw him on the actual on the smoke last game, but I felt like there were a couple of rounds where half of them. Oh, well, that makes sense, because I felt like it was a hell of a lot, but it certainly felt like the times that he did, one of them he actually fell as one of the opening picks. So take of that what you will. It's a dangerous play style, no doubt about it, but could have a huge impact here in Dorms.
Okay, that was aggressive repel and an aggressive movement in the site. Does punish Marvi. And a good opening pick there for Cyclops. Ayagator getting on the scoreboard nice and early. Oh my god, talk about aggression. That was hella ambitious, and it just did not work out.
I wonder if there was any intel, maybe a default cam left up, or whether that was all on audio cues. Maybe heard the repel and thought, hey, I can punish this, but right now, you're like, EVA E, maybe a little bit overzealous here. They've been really they've allowed Cyclops into this round by country mile. We saw how quickly Cyclops dealt with that shield, the deployable shield in toward Trophy. And they've already taken that master control. They're just trying to deal with this final piece of the puzzle, which of course are the bandit batteries on the game's wall. As now they're trying to spread their wings a little bit further across toward Attic.
I mean, at this point, Cyclops is feeling very comfortable, and they just need to go through the motions of all the normal steps, take control. Well, I mean, it depends what kind of an execute they want to go for. I assume master would be on the cards. Just start opening up the wall. Start going through the normal motions, the process. Ooh, unfortunately, that nade didn't quite get all the bandit batteries. It got some. That's something. And I mean, the point of failure here for Cyclops is if EVA E can pull off something aggressive, and that's exactly what Ray is doing. In fact, there's no one nearby. Surely the punish has to come through.
Flash just forces Rayra completely out onto the balcony, and well played by Anaton. Did not falter under the pressure there. Amber and Sifty, the only two to remain here, and I just could not imagine that's even possible. Suzu shuts down the one player in pit. Sifty might give a nice little fresh haircut, but outside of that, the SMG-11 should surely not allow any more than the one. I know that or no, Dev, and that or no is isolated 1v1s. It does not turn into anything more than just the first kill.
No, fortunately, Cyclops just, they got it done, and look, fair enough, 5v1, just throw bodies at him, get the job done. Fortunately, they didn't allow those 1v1s to be too isolated. They managed to trade it back, and Cyclops are on the scoreboard now with the round of their own. A strong one for Dorms, and they could definitely find themselves feeling strong on this map. Even if their laundry supply attacks leave a lot to be desired, as long as Cyclops can hammer home on Dorms particularly, then they can win this half 4-2.
Sure, EVA would not be overly happy with that round. Did feel like they kind of gave things up scot-free there, so it's good that they're moving on. Obviously not seeing the opportunity to re-attempt that site. Now it is going to be the meeting defense, one that they're very much familiar with by now, which is so funny because at the start of this year it was all dining. So it's good to see the adaptations being made. Now, big question for me always remains around this site, like where are you extending to? Are you going to be extending out into the Z hallway, or are you going all the way up into that second floor? I feel like you have to contest attic, even if it's for a little bit. You don't have to contest it for the entire time. But if you let that scot-free, Cyclops will surely just run all over you.
I definitely think that Cyclops pushing, at least for now, from small tower could be a lot of strong early ground. And I think that what seems to be an effective strategy against EVA is just slowly but surely take ground away from them and then punish any re-aggression. Seems to be quite a significant theme that we're seeing from a lot of these Japanese teams. They just love to really get in the face of their opponents, especially on the defense. And it means that as an attacking side, if you can just lock down some map control, you can really punish that.
They very evidently have got a lot of the early intel. The prep drone, or the prep phase droning has been phenomenal from them. I mean, look at what they've been able to achieve already. Not even within the first minute, they've taken the control away from Armory and also to White Stairs. The only rotate now. Oh, this is fantastic, Rayra! That is so unfortunate. It was nearly an unbelievable play. Black Ray, though, thinks better of it and manages to find that kill. But Anatun's doubling down here. Sifty, the only player left on this second floor.
Yeah, and this puts Cyclops in such a good position. They still have to clear out Sifty from the kids' dorms, but without a lot of vertical support, I don't think it's going to be easy for EVA or EVA to really help out their poor isolated teammate. Amber's now feeling that pressure as well, and Cyclops have just taken so much map control away from their opponent. They can just lock this down. Oh, let's get a start pushing on forwards. Surely Cyclops make the play here as Suzu gets in, but taken down the double. Oh my God! 15 bullets is enough for 2 kills for Amber. Now we're on a 3-on-3, Rob, and it looks like EVA have clawed this back.
That's devastating for Cyclops, but such a moment in time for EVA to recompose now. A 3 versus 3. Fantastic timing here, as that was really a tipping point. Split was in control of Cyclops, and soon too meeting was going to be. The fact that Amber's stood up is unbelievable, but it's completely isolated here, Dev. If Cyclops decide to pinch onto Amber, I don't know how much EVA can really respond.
Oh no, Gatorada's got to be really careful, but at least he does bait for Black Ray, and now it's Sifty and Marvy pushing together, and Gator can hold on to them both. 2 attack rounds in a row for Cyclops as they start to build this round. I mean, obviously, if EVA lose this, then that'd be quite concerning.
Yep.
But if they win this, like, they're going to have to go to either dorms or one of the kitchen bomb sites. They have lost 2 rounds in a row trying to defend those. So a lot of pressure now is mounting, not necessarily on this round, but on the next one. As for CAG, I mean,
5
they've
seconds left.
managed to give themselves a bit of a buffer here. They can just give it their best crack here on Laundry Supply, and if they lose, then put all their focus into that dorms and kitchen attack. Try and still win the half 4-2.
Not messing about here.
Oh no.
Oh no. Things you hate to see. Rayra going down at the hands of EVA, who has been phenomenal so far. Everything that EVA have tried to throw towards Cyclops' way, they have caught in the last 3 rounds, and easily so. This is really concerning now on the defense of Oregon, where you maybe expect teams to shine a little bit more. It's just not the case. And now, trying to tidy things up, they will have to try and find a cheeky little peak of some sort. They may get aggressive, but even then, it still just leans into the hands of Cyclops.
That was some fantastic drone parkour from Aniton. I'm just going to say, climbing up the ladder with a drone is not easy. So good on Cyclops. They're being really diligent. They checked all the way up that top of T3 to make sure there were no cheeky players hiding there. And well, the operator lineup overall looks quite similar. The main key difference here is that Aniton's actually no longer playing the Hibana. Gatorada's on that, and that gives Aniton the space to go onto this Ying. We know what Aniton could do on the Ying with the T95, but also, I mean, Cyclops are a team that absolutely love bringing that kind of oppressive utility. Here it comes the first one. Marvi almost gets flashed, but that was actually just, I think that was just to burn the magnets. Because even if the Candela gets caught, right, all of the little flashes will come out and then burn out any other utils. So that was a really nice maneuver there.
Moving elsewhere, with a minute left, Cyclops, what have they achieved elsewhere? They're taking freezer control now. Looks like Laundry may be the front take that we've been expecting for such a long time recently. This seems to be a real point of interest for the attacking team. Suzu absolutely rips the head off of Amber. Stick around there too long and you'll really be punished for it. 35 seconds by the time I finish this sentence, Dev. They've got to get a move on.
But X here has got a fantastic position and got the FMG as well. CAG are taking a final moment to drone out, and there goes the final Candela from Aniton. Now they've got to get a move on. Marvi taken down. Just look at that from Educator. Sifty really feeling that pressure, completely picked to pieces. What a fantastic execution from CAG.
Alarm bells are ringing. And not only is that the proximity alarm, I guess it does kind of double in that fashion. Here's a damning fact that I'm sure fans of EVA do not want to know. Their attack win percentage on Oregon across 4 maps is 33%. Their defensive win rate is 48%. So if they finish this half outside of 3-3, they're in dire straits. And I mean, right now, CAG have already found themselves a 3rd round. From here on out, it gets easier for Cyclops. Their defensive win rate is at 61%. This is not the place you want to be if you're an EVA fan.
There's no doubt this is looking like a really, really strong map from Cyclops. It was EVA's pick, but CAG have taken control well and truly here. Like you're saying, it's not just the fact, I mean, 2 rounds ahead isn't anything to write home about, but this is Cyclops on their attack. This is EVA on their defense, where they're hoping to find most of their rounds. And it's not looking much better as well. Now that Cyclops have managed to correct their wrongs on that laundry supply room attack, they've won laundry, they've won dorms, they've won kitchen. Like, they can take on any defense that EVA puts to them.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser. Attackers recovered the diffuser.
This is where we really see where things are going wrong. EVA, every single round, seem to be down in the deficit bar the first round. It seems like these openings, Cyclops just do such a phenomenal job at suffocating the roamers, suffocating anyone trying to lurk around. There we go again. Rayrock goes down to 10 HP. big factor here is he's still alive. He can still live to fight another day. Another crosshair on the board is one that's doesn't make a difference. 10 HP, 100 HP, it is still as deadly and as dangerous as ever.
But CAG had taken such strong map control. These castle barricades scattered throughout the map might provide some nice comfort, but how long will that comfort survive? Amber's actually allowed to play very aggressively in lobby. CYCLOPS didn't even take out the default lobby cam, which is a bit strange. Looks like they're going to really focus on this blue attack, which is, I mean, it makes sense since that they've six-picked, not necessarily six-picked, but they've changed out the Ying for Flores. Really good for clearing out elbow, but I'm not sure how strong an elbow presence we actually have. Oh, so close to being an opening for Black Ray. He almost found that kill. But nonetheless, CAG should be very, very happy about what they've achieved so far. Marvi tries an aggressive play up the rear stairs. Gatorada really wants to nail that shot down, but doesn't as of yet. Now Black Ray's in a prime position, got elbow reinforced, got so much map control, and there's the opening pick.
Geez, you can just see all the utility coming together for CYCLOPS right now. It's working like 1, 2, 3. Every single time we see them in this position, like, look how fantastically that is played.
Oh, wow.
He's put that up on a tee and they hit that home for me. Tell you what, they are looking phenomenal.
And the lines held are just too strong. CYCLOPS have all of the control. EVA have been decimated. It's all on Rera. But I just don't think there's any chance in hell that he's going to get it done. CYCLOPS, their most dominant round yet. They are flying through Oregon.
And you can just see the difference in the attack from CYCLOPS as it was for EVA. Like, there's... I mean, we'll wait and see what the EVA brings to the attack on Oregon, but the way that CYCLOPS are kind of fluidly moving through all of the obstacles in their way. I mean, their attacks look like water. Whatever's in their way, they just go around. They just find a way to get through it. And you're seeing it perfectly there. Elbow's completely reinforced off. They've got people peeking from, I believe it was inside of E, inside of Electric. And obviously just around the corner from Pillar, the single door into Blue. And they deal with it perfectly. They open up the hatch, it puts pressure on the player in toward Electric. They then go around to the corner of Elbow and ensure that anyone that's sitting on the line of Freezer is dealt with promptly and swiftly, and they continue to push from there. Once they've got the lines held, Dev, you said it perfectly. What are you going to do? How do you play against a team that can hold lines like that?
I mean, CYCLOPS just played into that setup from EVA so well. For example, you know, at the very end of the round, we saw Rayra trying to destroy that castle barricade. It was in the double door of the hallway. That castle barricade being there actually protected CYCLOPS. Once they had pillar control, it means they could play freely without being exposed to so many different lines of sight from the hallway, from Freezer, and it meant that they could really put that extra pressure on sight. Now you can see EVA have made some adaptations. I like the mute pick coming out from X, and what that's trying to do is counter the Flores, which previously cleared out that elbow presence. The thing is, CYCLOPS are so nimble on their feet. They've completely, already before the round has begun, changed their strategy. They've gone back to the Ying, but this time the Glaz is here as well for Suzu, instead of that flank rotch from Nomad. So as long as CYCLOPS are a bit more careful of their flanks, which it looks like it's not even going to matter, because EVA have been absolutely terrified. They're not even roaming anymore. Like, CYCLOPS are absolutely dictating the pace of this game.
And this is exactly what we wanted to see. We asked the big question, what is it going to look like when CYCLOPS really get the opportunity to showcase what they can do as a team? You're seeing it right now. This is unbelievable from CYCLOPS. From start to finish, they have looked phenomenal on this attack, sorry. So fluid, working together, just executing on any little mistake, any tiny mistake that EVA make, CYCLOPS are there for it. And again, they find the opening onto X, who has been so quiet alongside the entire team. I mean, there's no chance for them to flourish right now.
This could well be a 5th round in a row for CYCLOPS. They are looking so primed and ready to take this. They've got everything that they need. As the Candelas, one has rung out so far and one smoke from Annie. Just putting pressure passively on Blue, but that's something. That's a pick onto Black Ray. That's one of the main nade operators. got a little bit too aggressive, tried to sneak down the stairs. Probably not advisable for Black Ray, but at least for EVA, that's a lifeline that they can grab onto. That said, CYCLOPS have put so much pressure on. It looks like they might actually go for this front take, Rob, not putting a lot of pressure on the rear side.
Oh, and this gets even more dangerous because players are going to think they're safe here. Oh my goodness, Suzu surely gets the free opportunity to take down Rayro. It's going to be Gatorada that goes deep now on the back of the shots ringing through. Gatorada has control. No! Rayro goes big and they hold firm. EVA shutting down the storyline in 5 rounds straight. 4-2. They will swap halves onto their attack now.
That is some fantastic redemption for EVA. That really well and truly should have been a 5-1 half for CYCLOPS. This game should be nearly over. But 4-2, while far from ideal, is certainly a salvaged half for EVA. The fact that just finally they managed to get through, especially when it's just by the most minute of moments, the tiniest of micro plays. Fantastic 2K from Rayra, fending off Anaton, trying to push blue, and immediately being prepared for some aggression from Gatorada flooding through sight. It was exactly what EVA needed to keep this alive. Keep in mind, CYCLOPS, 1 map 1. EVA are at the end of their rope. This is their map pick. They need to show up.
I like where that bulletproof camera is being placed then by Gator. It's just on the corner of the corridor that will allow you to see into freezer. The only place you can destroy it, of course, is from pillar. So, provided they don't lose pillar, they're going to have a lot of control into freezer for as long as they want, unless they do decide to reinforce that, of course. Moving forward, though,
10 seconds.
I mean, I hate this storyline of we expect CYCLOPS to really just be solidly so sound on their defense. And you can see they're more than happy to roam above. I think they've got 2 or 3 players that were running upstairs. It looks like Gatorada might be the only player that sticks around. But have they extended in a meeting? That's probably the question for me.
Looks like it's a pretty significant extension all the way upstairs. This is not very common, but once again, it's the castle coming out and the castle buff showing its very exciting teeth, bearing its fangs. It's EVA who's got to deal with the roam, or ignore the roam and focus on the site. Both of which are going to be quite troublesome. There's a lot of utility stacked both on and off site, and you can see even these holes here are going to make it super hard for any attackers to play in T1 of Big Tower.
Question for me remains, how much information does EVA really have at this point? They've lost 4 drones. They are getting live droned in, so there we go. They know that meeting is pretty much scot-free, but it's not meeting they have to worry about. It is upstairs. Big Tower seems to be where they're looking to take a lot of the attention to. CYCLOPS have burnt enough time off this clock already for it to be a little bit worrisome, unless ever decide to completely dismiss the roam and go straight to site. Minute 30 off, and you know, CYCLOPS haven't been addressed yet. It really could come down to those roams.
CYCLOPS have some really fantastic flank positions, but EVA is watching them. You can see flicking through all of the drones, making sure that they're not going to be caught off guard. Flashbang to go out. Amber being extra cautious, but also flashed up. It looks like CYCLOPS are about to feel the wrath of EVA as they start to really put this pressure on.
Gatorada sitting defensively. Anaton on the other side of the map is not going to be faced with any kind of nonsense just yet. Does look like Suzu's actually backed away, so it's just going to be Gatorada who's burning the time up there. This is really dire here, Dev. 40 seconds left. EVA are starting to realize, hey, we can't do this. We can't stick around forever. We need to start addressing the site. There's 4 players toward the site as EVA might just drop into a murder box.
I think they're going to have to, though, at this point, and Suzu does draw first blood, taking down X, and it looks like it might be too difficult for EVA to get a grip. Amber has to go huge here, dropping in to electrical. Oh no, just misses the shot. Chases down Black Ray, but oh no, CYCLOPS have turned it on. And they go up 5 rounds to 2 as they start strong on their defense.
Feel like EVA had to either address that roam or dismiss it completely. They got caught in 2 minds. They threw nades, they threw flashes, they tried to flush them back. And all it really did was just force, I can't remember who it was now, the Castle player, back into dorms. It just forced them back into kids. Gatorada, there you go. Force them back into a position where they could literally just wait out. They could wait their time out. They had burnt 2 minutes off the clock, 2 minutes 20. By the time you saw EVA go, oh no, we need to address this. We need to figure something out. And Suzu had already backed away down the armory hatch, was stuck in garage, but could shut down anything coming into lobby. And it just doesn't, it did not feel like it had the venom that we'd hoped for, especially considering this is EVA's map pick.
Just a lot of indecisiveness there from EVA, really. I mean, I wasn't watching as avidly as you might have been CYCLOPS' game against Reject yesterday on this map, but perhaps that's a strategy that roam that CYCLOPS haven't actually shown before. And perhaps EVA was pretty stumped when they saw, oh, so there's all these roamers upstairs. What do we do? Do we push them? Do we push site? They kind of ended up half doing both at once.
Yeah.
And it meant that they got to a point where it was like 45 seconds left and oh, we don't have enough time to go and hunt these roamers. We don't have enough time to go and push the site. Kind of a worst of both worlds situation for EVA. Made it really, really difficult. CYCLOPS have been dominating on Oregon thus far, and even though we've seen flashes of greatness from EVA, it just hasn't been enough to keep up.
No, definitely. I'm trying to cast my mind back, and I genuinely don't remember seeing a roam that heavy up top. I know that they definitely roamed from time to time, but it was nothing too drastic. Look at this.
What is this?
Are they going to? Surely they're not about to do this.
This is surely a rush. We can have the Ying, and the Amaru. This is absolutely perfect. This could be so well timed. We've got the Candela going off. We've got the, oh no, Amaru full flashed and taken down. There's a shield as well. That is a rush fallen flat on their face. A flawless round for CYCLOPS.
CAG. They literally laid the path out in front of EVA and said, go for it. Go for it. Let's see how good you are. It was literally falling into the open arms. The entire roster was ready and waiting for that. That is a devastating blow to EVA that now find themselves, I believe that, is that match point for CYCLOPS?
Indeed it is, 6-2.
Oh no. Oh no. Not only match point, it's series point.
Protect your bombs from being defused by
And
attackers.
we're about to find our first semi-finalist, CYCLOPS, about to lock it in. 1 round away here.
What a gutting moment this must be for EVA. They've given it their all. They have struggled all year long in the Japan League, finishing last place. And while there were little expectations on them, on their shoulders, after finishing so strong in their group, they demonstrated that they can step up under pressure, right? But just clearly not step up as high as the reigning champions can. Map 1 was a close contest. EVA really showed us a lot of promise on Chalet, but Oregon here has just been the CYCLOPS show through and through, and surely this is not going to be a spawn pick. Oh no, Black Ray having a field day. Marvi shut down, insults to injury.
Oh, that really does rub salt in the wounds, doesn't it? That is a devastating blow to start out with. Marvi, who has opened up these rounds, found trades at the direst of times. Down and out. can only sit there and watch the drone plate. And Anatan,
Ooh,
oh,
well
goodness
played.
me, that was, yeah, really fantastic from EVA.
Right here.
Still hasn't done the job yet. You can see Amber trying to get some kind of pressure vertically and cut off his cross, but still quite difficult to take down this clash. There is a C4 ready and waiting. Oh, and well, while we did have Aniton trying to call for it, it wasn't quite there. Now Amber's got a great position, but knowing Cyclops, they'll peek these holes.
That's just it. And they've got no pressure from Small Tower at the moment because Anitan's still standing, or was standing, toward the doorway. So they could sit there and pronounce the double reinforced wall in the dining. Makes it near impossible. This extension into shower is going to be near impossible to deal with when you've got a clash there as well. I mean, this is such a hard setup for EVA to deal with.
They're going to give it everything that they've got as Amber now forced back, really feeling that pressure. Sifty still has one concussion left, and he's going to need to use it surely, but Alligator's not going to give them a chance. EVA may just be tripping over that final hurdle as we speak. Only 3 players left. The Cyclops are flexing their muscles.
Rayra, though, can he open up the side? Are they looking to warn him? There was an opportunity, but he's missed it only by a second. The flash will go in. That should allow him to get a little bit more aggressive, but Susu dances in and around the table. It is Sifty that is left to deal with all 5 remaining members. And of course, in typical Cyclops fashion, they all get aggressive.
Oh, the pistol to finish it! That is the match. That is the series. That is Cyclops marching forth to the semi-finals. Oh, that was, in the end, a very dominant quarterfinal match.